My name is ChaunF and I am currently the Chief Academic Officer for JCFA West. I started with the organization back in 2012 as the JAG instructor, so just a little shy of about 5 years. Um, Stayed in that position for about 8 months and then transitioned to the Student Success Coordinator. And as of last July is when I actually took over as the Chief Academic Officer here.
Very good. And can you talk about what did you do before you came to JCFA?
I've done a couple of different things. I'm actually trained professionally as a social worker. I have a master's degree in social work. Prior to coming to JCFA, I've done some nonprofit organizations, and I actually worked at a traditional private school as the director of a guidance department, and did that for a couple of years. And actually, the way I came to know JCFA is through working through that nonprofit organization. And I actually was introduced to the executive director, Miss Millie Harris, because we needed students to serve as youth mentors. And so I had heard about the school and reached out to Billy. And unfortunately, after a couple of months, just shy of a year, the program was no longer funded. And so I just kind of was really impressed with the school overall. And so I reached out to Millie and just said, hey, if there's anything else going on with the school, I was really impressed with the school. Keep me in mind, if there's anything administratively, because I do have prior experience working in the school system. And ironically, she contacted me immediately and she was like, would you like to interview for our JAG position? And coming from a private school, it was through the Archdiocese of New Orleans. We didn't have all of the courses and the opportunities that they have in public schools. So I had no idea what JAG was, but I certainly went and looked it up and found out, what it was about and what it entailed, and absolutely was excited to apply for the position. And from that point forward, I transitioned into the world of becoming an educator, and I would not change a thing from that day forward. Ironically, I think the mere fact that I have a social work degree actually probably helps me more so, especially in the type of setting that we have here. As a social worker, your primary goal is to make sure that you are helping individuals, and ideally that's what I wanted to do. Here, specifically at JCFA, with the student population that we have, we never know what we're going to get, and that kind of keeps you on your toes, but it also allows me to fall back on my experience as a social worker. So if there's something that I can assist a student with in terms of an outside referral, or assist a student's family with, I know that I have information that I can provide them. It also helps me understand where my students are when they come here. Some of them have experienced tragedies, or some of them may have experienced things that a typical student may not have gone through. And so I think my training as a social worker kind of helps me, or helps prepare me to be able to communicate and create a relationship with that student where that trust is reciprocated. And once our students get that feeling that they can actually trust you and they don't look at you as just an administrator or the principal, they are more willing to actually share information with you. And once you open up that relationship with them, they're more inclined to come to school and feel that they have someone that they can rely on. So I absolutely think that my training in social work helped me cultivate the relationship that I have with my students here at JCFA. In general, I think the easiest thing to say is that our students are your non-traditional student for various reasons. We may have students that are overaged and undercredited. You also may have students that are the correct age, but they have not been in school for a while for various reasons. We have students that have anxiety disorders that may prohibit them from feeling comfortable in your traditional class setting. We may have students that had to drop out for particular reasons. Maybe they had a baby and they needed to take care of their family, or they just had a job basically that prohibited them from being able to come to school during the regular traditional hours. And so recognizing that our students come to us with various needs and various barriers, it's really hard to say what our ideal or our typical student actually is, because you never know. We have students that, they may come one day and they're absolutely fine, and then the next day, they have a tragedy going on. But at the same time, they're still our students. So we welcome students of any that have any issues that are going on to come and apply to JCFA. Absolutely. Most definitely. I don't live on the West Bank. I live in New Orleans. And so I travel a good distance to get here. And that doesn't even bother me. Like, the traffic drives me crazy. But once I get here, I know that I'm making a difference in the lives of these students. And I think the one thing that absolutely inspires me every single day is, without a doubt, the culture of the school. The culture of the school is really difficult to explain in terms of giving you specific details beyond the fact that we are a family. I think there's a holistic approach in terms of making sure that we educate our students academically, but also teach them about life lessons and things that our students may have not necessarily gotten along the way. I think it is important that we ensure that our students feel safe, that our students know that they can depend on us, and sometimes they may just need somebody to talk to. And so it really takes a very dedicated individual to work here as faculty and staff, because you're not just going to be a teacher. Sometimes you're going to be a coach. Sometimes you're going to be a mentor. Sometimes you're going to be a mama. Sometimes you're going to be a friend. It's just recognizing that you're going to have more than one job or role here at JCFA. You have to be ready for that. And I think that is one of the things that kind of drew me to want to stay here at JCFA, because, again, going back to my social work background, I can offer so many different things to my students, and that makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference for them. I think there are various different types of support that we have in terms of the faculty and staff that we have here that are willing to stay and go that extra mile. But also, I think recognizing where some of our students come to us, they are overaged. We also recognize the fact that a lot of our students are not going to go directly to a four-year college or university. So what we try to make sure that our students understand is that there are various opportunities for them. We offer the different types of diploma pathways for our students, ensuring that they understand that there are opportunities besides a four-year college. Obviously, we want everyone to go on to be successful. So if you're on track to go to that four-year college, we're going to do everything that we can to ensure that you are eligible for TOPS. You have access to applications for financial assistance. But also for that student that may not necessarily be going on to college, we want to make sure that you too have the same opportunities to be successful in life. And so we provide them with work keys testing, which is it's based through ACT, and what it does, it provides our students the opportunity to test. Depending on their scores, the students can then take their certificate. Once they complete the test, they can take their certificate to either an employer to ensure that they have been certified in certain areas, and it'll actually increase their pay. Or they can take it on to a two-year program, say a Delgado or a Nunez, and it will then verify that these students has completed this coursework, which then makes them eligible to perhaps pass on some of the remediation courses. So either way it goes, it still is going to provide an opportunity for a student to advance, as opposed to making sure that they are just going on to a four-year university. We make sure that we expose our students to different career pathways. Not necessarily, everybody's not going to be a doctor, everybody's not going to be a lawyer. There are students that already have families that are working in certain industries, and so we want to encourage that they do additional training. So if there's anything that we can send our students to for additional vocational training and things like that, then we make sure that we help our students get that information, so that it'll also prepare them for going on after JCFA.
Just go do your work.
Yeah, right. Well, we had one like that today, right? Sometimes we realize that you just come to school and you had a bad day, and so we really want you to stay, because when you're in school, you're not out getting in trouble. So sometimes we recognize that maybe you just need to be alone, and so we will provide you with the laptop and we'll put you in the room. So in terms of additional supports, I think something that's non-traditional in the sense of following the mission of JCFA is that we recognize our students have different issues, and some of them may just need a quiet space. Sometimes they may not have that at their house. And so rather than a student just going home, maybe they just need a place to go and gather themselves. We offer laptops sometimes for the student to go into another room with supervision. The tutors and different administrators will go in and check on them. Maybe it's just not a good time for them to be around other students. We don't know what happened before they got here, and they may come here in a bad mood, but by the time we sit down and talk to them, it's just like they really had a really rough morning or a really difficult night before, and you know what, I really want you to stay here, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer you to be able to talk with our counselor or one of the mentors, or if not, I'm just going to give you the time that you need alone to go and hang out in the room and, maybe get you a drink of water and let you go and work on the computer by yourself until you are ready to go back into that classroom. And I think these are things that in a traditional school you won't find that. I think the beauty of the fact that we're such a small campus that we only have a certain amount of teachers that are here, but we do still have.
How many teachers? How many teachers do we have?
We have, I think, 6 teachers on staff.
So let's go back and we'll say we're a very small campus. We only have 6 teachers on staff.
Let me make sure I got Mr. Oh wait, no, because we might have Miss Erica now. So we got Erica, Jew, Mr. G, and Miss Jerry, Kelly, and Daphne. That's six, Kelly and Daphne. So we have 6 teachers on staff, but each classroom has 1 or more tutors in it. So it still allows us to have, you may have a special mentor relationship with that teacher. Since the tutor's in that classroom, that teacher can still go and check on, that student if they need that mentor, that in-house mentor.
Okay, were you just telling that for me, or were you saying that for
I think we got somewhere in between.
Well, I think, yeah. Okay, so let me go back and say because we only have we're a small school. We only have 6 teachers actually on campus, but each teacher and tutor is actually assigned a group of students that they actually mentor. So we have an in-house mentoring system. So one of the things that's really unique about JCFA is that when that student is not feeling so hot or they're not having a good day, because we have those tutors in those classrooms, they are trained to still run that classroom, but the teacher can step out to go and talk to that student that they mentor, and perhaps that may be the person that may be able to get them feeling back right, or getting back to a place where they're able to come back to the classroom. And I think in a traditional school system, you won't find that, where we can go and individualize, the level of supports that we offer to our students.
So let's tie in together. We have a lot of flexibility.
Right, we offer, I guess the only thing that I would say is that we are alternative in the fact that our approach and the things that we offer are an alternative or a non-traditional approach to dealing with our students,
Sure.
Okay.
So let's say non-traditional and get it back to flexible.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think one of the things that kind of, there's a common misconception, I think, in the community, we're known as a alternative school, when in actuality, we're not necessarily an alternative school. We offer an alternative approach, more so that we are a non-traditional school, meaning that we offer things to our students that your traditional school wouldn't. The flexibility in terms of our schedule, the culture that we have here, the opportunities that we offer in terms of our students being able to come and have their courses done online as opposed to sitting in a traditional classroom. I think the misconception is that because we have alternative ways of providing education to our students, that we are listed as an alternative program. But in actuality, we are a voluntary-based school where we're a school of choice, basically, where the students actually choose to come here. So students are not court mandated, or students are not required by the legal systems to come because they've been put out of another school, or because the school system says that you're no longer allowed to attend another school. The students come here by choice. And so I think the misconception is that the students that we have here, we're not allowed to go somewhere else, and that's not the case. Many of the students are overaged, and so sometimes that prevents them from being allowed into the traditional school system. But the approaches that we take in terms of making sure that our students are educated is actually why we are a non-traditional.
Non-traditional.
Okay. The approaches that we take is what makes us a non-traditional school. I think the one thing that we pride ourselves on is we talk about the culture. The culture is very unique at JCFA. And one of the things that we make sure that we do is that our students are included in everything that we do. And our students are our primary goal. Again, we emphasize education, but we also want to make sure that our students feel safe, that they feel wanted, they feel loved. We also recognize that there are a lot of things that, because we are a non-traditional school, that we can't provide our students. We don't have a lot of extracurricular activities, but what we try to do is we try to invent different opportunities for our students to still feel like they are a part of an organization or a part of the group or a part of the family. I think one of the things that we do that's really unique is that for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, some of our students, we understand that some of them will not have a traditional Thanksgiving or a traditional Christmas. And so what we do is all of the faculty and staff get together, we make a Christmas list or a Thanksgiving list of what we're going to do, and we all prepare a meal. And we bring that to school, we decorate the cafeteria, and we have a good old family Thanksgiving or Christmas feast. Our students have the opportunity to share what they are thankful for. Our teachers and staff have the opportunity to do the same. We serve our students, and we really just enjoy each other as a family. And for Christmas, what we try to do is we actually purchase small gifts just to make sure that our students know that we care and appreciate them as much as they do us as well. And so I think that's one of the things that allows our students to realize that we are really genuine and we really are sincere, and we do really care about them. Of course, we want them to be academically successful, but we also want them to know that they are valued and that there's a worth and that they are part of our family and part of our community. And so that's one of the things that I think is really unique about JCFA. JCFA stands for a lot of different things, but I often tell my students that we were joined by circumstances, but we're a family always.